My name is Derek, and today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the HDMI on an Xbox. Now, to some this repair might seem daunting, but I'm going to share with you some of the things that have made this job much simpler. Let's get into the video. Xbox Series S, one of the smaller Xboxes. This one has a broken HDMI. With a little bit of effort, we can fix it. Let me show you what it takes. First thing we're going to do is get up these stickers. Now using a T8, we'll take out these two screws. Now we can slide up and the bottom pops off. Switching now to a T10, we can remove all of the green screws. And we'll set them aside. We'll flex out the sides here. And the whole unit should come out. Switching back to the T8, we'll take out these screws. This will pop off. A little bit of wiggle. And same for this little daughter board. Flip it around and we've got one on this side. And with a little wiggle, this will pop off as well. While we still have the T8, I'm going to take out these 4 screws. And we'll set them aside. Now we can switch back to our T10 and take out all of the silver screws. These screws secure everything to the frame. We'll flip it over and remove this plate. We'll lift straight up on the power supply. Reach down in here and disconnect the fan. Pop that off. Get rid of this clip, just like that. Now we can lift the motherboard out of the frame. Removing this clip isn't too difficult. I'm just going to wedge a pair of tweezers in here and it'll pry up that clip. We'll move over to the second one, do the same, it'll pop that up. The third one will be much easier and the fourth will just pop right off. There it goes, and off we go. And then this will just fall right through. If you're enjoying the video, be sure to like and comment below. And now we can address removing the HDMI. I'm going to peel up this sticker, save it for later. Let me show you some tips and tricks on how to remove this easily without pulling any pads. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get some 138 solder paste. This is a low temperature lead-free solder paste that will allow us to mix with the higher melting temperature solder that's on the board, lowering the overall temperature we need to get the HDMI port to in order for it to come away. What I'll do is pipe out enough each one of these legs here. Get our soldering iron, and we're gonna melt and mix that solder into the leg here. Just like that. With some 99% isopropyl alcohol, I'm gonna wipe away any of the flux that's left behind so it doesn't burn and make a bigger mess for me to clean up later. Now we'll flip the board over, and what we'll do is we'll apply the same 138 to all of the pins. This will help mix with the factory solder and prevent any of the pads from getting pulled. I'm also going to add some solder to the legs on the top and on both sides. Now on the hot air station, I've got to set it to 500 degrees. I'm going to take the airflow all the way up. I've got the logic board dangled over the edge of my desk about 1.5 inches away so that I don't burn the desk. So I can heat it from the bottom and lift this off. Now we'll heat it up from below until it comes off. I'm really gonna just, with this 138, I like to just kind of dip down into these legs and help really stir the pot, as it were, mixing together the 138 with the factory to help it clear those holes a little cleaner. I'm gonna take a little bit of wick and a bit of flux. I'm blow again with the hot air, and now we're soldering iron from the top, and we're gonna wick up all of the solder. So as you can see, those holes are nice and clear. I'm gonna come in again with some isopropyl alcohol and clean up all of the burnt flux. Now I'm gonna take some 183. You could go up to 217 here. It's just a little harder to work with, but I will be using a 217 solder for the legs to reinforce it. I'm just gonna take a bit of solder paste there, add some flux as well. Take our soldering iron, and we're going to add a little bit of solder to each one of those pads, kind of creating nice little pillows of solder. We'll wipe away the extra. So as you can see, there's nice little pillows of solder on each one of those pads. I'll add a little bit of flux here. We'll get out our new HDMI for Xbox Series S. And we'll push it on down so it makes good contact. You can see it kind of moving the flux there. And we're going to do the same as well with this, as we're going to stick it over the edge, get from below, and compress it slightly on the top. Get those pads to suck up the solder. Take you under the microscope now so I can show you what that's done. So here you can see, we zoom down in on them, that they're making solid contact, each one of them. Go and nudge them. We're not getting any movement out of any one of those pins, so they are solid. We could go in and reinforce them a little bit more, but it's not necessary. What we do need to do though is reinforce the legs. Now we'll come in with some 217. Always more than I need, but that's okay. And we're going to grab some of the solder and we'll suck it down into the hole. And as you can see, we blobbed them up pretty big, which is what I'm going for. Now we'll carefully get rid of the rest of the solder here. Now we'll come in and add some flux. Now we'll come in with the heat gun. I've got a reducing nozzle on here, and we're going to really heat up the solder here. And you can see what that does is it pulls the solder all the way up and through to the other side of the board, even though it's a 217, giving it that extra heat so it allows it to pull it up and through, giving those legs a really solid base. All right, let's go and install it and test it. All right, let's stick these stickers back. Take some more isopropyl alcohol. Let's clean off the dried thermal paste here. We'll apply some new thermal paste. Grab the heat sink, do the same. Alright, now we'll set this down on in. Shown in previous videos how I like that pattern, how it works perfectly for heat sinks. One at a time, we will push in these clips. Just like that. We'll take our fan, reconnect it. Power supply, shield, push it on in. and quickly put all of the screws back. Now at this point you could be testing, but I'm confident enough to close the whole thing up before testing. Switch back to the T8. Now we'll grab the frame, get down inside, open up the sides here, let it click in. We'll grab our screws and stick them back in. And screw them all down. Slide that in. And for the final time, back to the T8. Now we'll put back these stickers. And there we've got a new HDMI. Let's go test it out. All right, let's connect up our HDMI. Power it on. And there we go. All fixed and ready to be played with again. And that's my method for replacing the HDMI on an Xbox. If there's anything that you do different, leave it in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more future videos like this. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.